Welcome back to the channel. Today we got a pretty special review in store. It's going to be a 2-in-1 review of two brand new animated movies, Trolls World Tour and Scoob.
Captain, my captain.
I'll be back.
I'm the king of the world!
Iron Man.
And since it was just released yesterday, we're going to start this review with the new Scooby-Doo movie, Scoob.
His name's Scooby.
Middle name.
Dooby?
Last name.
Doo.
With hundreds of cases solved and adventure shared, Scooby and the gang face their biggest, most challenging mystery ever. I didn't hate Scoob, but I didn't love it either. I think this movie had a ton of potential, and I really do think that they wasted most of it. There were some jokes that made me laugh and I chuckled a little bit, but overall, I think that there was a lot of issues with this film that if they just kind of fixed them or paid attention to them or did things just a little bit differently, this movie would have been pretty good. For starters, it has an incredible voice cast. I mean, you have Zac Efron as Fred, Gina Rodriguez as Velma, you have Amanda Seyfried as Daphne, you also have Mark Wahlberg in this. So the cast, really the list goes on and on. Will Forte plays Shaggy, just stellar voice actors, stellar actors in general, voicing these characters, and they were for the most part pretty good. I didn't have really any issues with any of the voicing in this movie, and also this movie brings a lot of nostalgia with it. There's a lot of things that are in this movie that are in the old cartoons that'll make you smile just a little bit. But what I really want to talk about are the issues that I had with this film, because I felt they were pretty big, and if they just done some things differently, this could have been a better movie. First and foremost, this movie really didn't know what it was. The jokes in it felt outdated at times. For example, there's this running gag of Simon Cowell that feels like it should be in the 2002 live-action Scooby-Doo, not this one. It keeps coming back up, and it really just feels out of place. And kids today, I can't imagine really know who Simon Cowell is. So I'm not sure why they thought that would be funny or why they went that route, but that's a creative decision I didn't quite understand. They also really tried to push the younger audience. So in the meantime, they had these older jokes, maybe trying to grab the adults, but then they threw in these just ridiculous tropes that relate to kids today. For example, one of the characters dabs in the movie, and I don't think I'd ever in a million years see a character dabbing in Scooby-Doo. So that is just kind of how it doesn't really find itself in this film really at all, and it's kind of confusing all the way throughout because they're just throwing these, missed signals that I wasn't really picking up on.
Jinkies! Apparently he's been stealing Netflix by using his mother's account.
That is not fair for the rest of us who have to pay for Netflix.
You have to pay for Netflix?
Also, the marketing in this movie really pushed it kind of as an origin story. So if you are expecting an origin story of Scooby-Doo, this isn't it. It's like the first 10 minutes of the movie and then that's it. And the thing is, I actually enjoyed the first 10 minutes of the movie the most because it felt the most like a Scooby-Doo movie. You had showing Shaggy and Scooby meeting when they were kids, and then you had the mystery team, Mystery Inc. all meeting up, and then they started doing their little mystery missions, and they were running around and foiling villains' plans. I really enjoyed that. And then all of a sudden it just ended, and I don't know why they went away from that. Another big issue is the fact that I think this plot is just way too big. I don't know why they decided to go this route. The best part about Scooby-Doo is really just their simple storylines. The Mystery Inc. goes in, they solve the crime, they unmask the villain, and that's really the whole show. But in this movie, they really don't do that. This is a huge, intricate plot that doesn't even need to be there, but it is. And it just really feels like they're just trying to drag it out so they can fill the whole hour-and-a-half runtime. And I think if they just really stripped it back, went back to what Scooby-Doo is at its roots, it would have been a much better movie. Another thing that I didn't really like is the fact that the gang is kind of separated for the entire movie. You have them in the beginning, and then like a whole hour in the middle is just them separated. I didn't quite understand that at all, or why they decided to go that route, but that's the way they went, and for me, it just didn't really work. So I don't know why they did that. I would much rather have them together solving a mystery, but they do come together in the end, like the final, 20 minutes. So I don't know. This whole thing, they did so much that really confused me, and I don't know why. I feel like they felt like they had to go big and above and beyond, and really they didn't need to do that at all. And one of the biggest issues that I saw in this film was the fact that they were trying to really build a universe out of Hanna-Barbera characters, which I think is cool. I mean, Hanna-Barbera cartoons are awesome. Everybody knows them. Everyone grew up with them throughout time. But the fact that they tried to build this universe already, instead of just focusing on the heart and soul of this movie, which is obviously Scooby-Doo and Mystery Inc., they just would have focused on that. This would have been a better movie. Instead, they were really trying to plant seeds to build a universe with Hanna-Barbera characters, and to me, if they just would have focused on the movie itself, it would have been much better instead of trying to universe build. Overall, even though I had a ton of issues with this movie, I didn't necessarily hate it. I did enjoy it. It made me chuckle a couple times. And obviously, I've always loved Scooby-Doo, so there's that big nostalgia factor in there for me. I'm going to give Scooby-Doo a 5 out of 10. And now it's time for my next review, Trolls World Tour. Trolls World Tour is a fine animated movie. What I think is great, though, is all the controversy that this film caused with Universal and AMC theaters. Because of Trolls World Tour, this tiny animated kids movie, AMC is now saying they're not playing any Universal movies in theaters as soon as we're allowed to go back to theaters. So I think this is just a crazy controversy that has popped up during this coronavirus pandemic that is really funny and quite enjoyable to read about, that a movie like Trolls World Tour could cause all of these problems. Anyways, other than that though, Trolls is a fine animated movie. I didn't, again, like Scoob, didn't hate it, didn't love it either. I think kids will get a kick out of it and enjoy it. When the Queen of the Hard Rock Trolls tries to take over all the troll kingdoms, Queen Poppy and her friends try different ways to save all the trolls. So Trolls World Tour, really nothing special. I did though like the first Trolls movie. I thought the first one was much better than this one. I thought the first one had a reason to exist, and this one really has no reason whatsoever to exist other than a marketing ploy. So to me, it was nothing special. I think you can find entertainment in it. Your kids will definitely find entertainment in it. But really, I think the biggest thing with Trolls World Tour is that there's no point or reason for its existence. There's nothing that this movie brings that you sit there and say, oh yeah, this definitely makes sense why they made a second one. No, that's not the case at all.
This is a terrible idea that will blow up in your face.
The country trolls look friendly.
Anna Kendrick and Justin Timberlake were back in this one as the voices of the main trolls. Obviously, there was a huge cast in this one too. But Anna Kendrick and Justin Timberlake, I felt like they were just yelling at me the entire time, telling me what I should feel, instead of letting me feel for my own and kind of form my own opinions on the plot and the storyline. They were kind of just like forcing it to you, like, this is what you should think, this is how you should feel, this is how you should perceive this movie. And again, that's great for a kid's movie, but I think adults will watch this movie and it'll be one of the animated movies that they just let their kids watch on their own.
One more time.
The cover songs that they chose to use in this film, pretty generic, nothing really out of the ordinary, just kind of your, common rock, pop, country songs. Nothing that really kind of sticks out to you like, oh, I forgot about this song, or oh, I remember this song, or oh, I really like this song. They're all songs that were popular in their own right during their own times, and nothing that's too crazy to really write home about. Now, a big thing that I saw in this film is I'm pretty sure Trolls World Tour ripped off Avengers Endgame. Actually, I'm not pretty sure. It was plain as day. Basically, the plot is there are these 6 strings, and the 6 strings control different music: country, hard rock, pop, things like that. Now, one troll is trying to get all the strings so that they can rule the troll kingdom per se. And if that storyline does not sound exactly like the Infinity Stone storyline, then I don't know what to tell you, because that's exactly what it is. So kind of funny, they didn't really try to hide it either. It was pretty plain as day. That's what they were going for. And hey, I mean, like, Avengers Endgame made the most money ever for a movie, so I mean, I guess more power to them. The animation in this movie was fantastic. Tons of color. It was beautiful to look at. It was bright. It really was. Animation was top notch, but that's how kind of most animation is today. You usually don't see bad animation. You do, trust me, you do. But most of these big budget studio films have pretty solid animation in their films. But one of the big things about this one was there was a ton of glitter. So much glitter. I mean, oh my gosh. Yeah, so if you don't like big bright colors, I think you should probably avoid Trolls. But really, this movie is nothing more than just a marketing grab, as I mentioned earlier. Obviously, they're going to sell a ton with the movie soundtrack, toys, shirts, anything really that they can put a troll on, they're going to sell. So this is nothing more than just a marketing ploy to get more money. Nothing really to write home about this sequel. It just exists. And really, I don't think there's a point for its existence, but hey, we got it. So I'm going to give Trolls World Tour a 4 out of 10. Didn't love it, didn't hate it, but I think families could sit down and watch worse movies during this time when they're stuck at home. So it's got that going for it, I guess. So if you need a family movie and you're going to put in Trolls, I think you could find, for the most part, some entertainment in it, but it's not going to be one that you remember or really revisit. So that is what I thought of Scoob and Trolls World Tour. Have you seen them yet? If so, let me know what you thought of them in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, consider hitting that like button, hit that subscribe button, of course, ding that bell to stay up to date when I post my next video. I plan on having the Predator review coming by hopefully next Wednesday. That will be up for you guys to check out, so make sure you're looking for that one. And as always, we'll be sure to see you in the next one.
See you around.
All right, check you later.
Bye.